Hello and welcome everyone. We have another audio commentary for you today with a 1v1 matchup between Dominus Noctis and Konsumat. At the top left we have Dominus as the white Dominion, and down here at the bottom right we have Konsumat as the red Klingons. This is a new map, and it is called Duel. It is a two-player map, 12k by 12k, so a lot of new stuff. So we shall see what these players are doing. So you can see that Dominus is starting with the pretty standard initial builds. He's going pure tech, as you can see by the avatar bonus, and he's starting off with bugs. A fairly standard opening move by the Dominion. We can see that down here that Konsumat is also going fairly standard initial setup with a early game production and mining station. So we also see that he's popping out his initial field yard extension. So we should probably see some barrels, as you can see here. A couple of them are queued up. And the Klingons here, you can see, are starting to mine the lithium early on, and then they will end up mining the tritanium second, as this will give them more of a ship production economy. The tritanium tends to be the material you need for specials and research. So with this, you can see that Konsumat is going more of an offensive economy. So the Dominion here are actually, I believe, went a little bit early on the tritanium, so they will probably be going S2s here with the research here, but it's a little bit too early to tell. You can see here that there's a 30-second pause on construction, allowing Dominus's economy to catch up. That's usually needed for building something, but I'm not seeing anything that is building at the moment. We can see that Dominus is doing what looks to be an attempt at an early expand. He's moving this worker ship out, and he has got his scout ship came into under a little fire earlier on. It's now going back to very likely repair. And so now we see that Konsumat has a pair of barrels out, and we also have another one coming out along with two that are already in production. So Konsumat going for a fairly offensive strategy here. It looks like he's also got another scout out. This is good for the Klingons or Romulans actually. This gives them a lot of eyes on the board to let them know what's going on. You see that Dominus has his one of his bugs down here, doing a little bit of patrolling, perhaps. You see his scout still providing his eyes on the ground. So Konsumat doing anticipating the potential for a expansion is going and scouting in the area. This placement of a scout is potentially a little odd, or not actually. Depends on what he's going for. If he's looking for just visibility on this side of the map, this is kind of a decent position. However, he's actually going to be missing the expansion, so if he didn't see this construction ship, he might actually have missed the expansion. However, we can see down here that he has got his fleet of 5 Brels, and they are moving in this general direction, which is probably letting us know that Konsumat actually is aware of this construction ship. So this construction ship not actually doing a lot. these Brels decloaking here on this scout. Now, that is potentially a mistake. So it's good to take a scout out. However, Dom is going to know that these Brels are on the map and in this general area. He's going to try to retreat this constructor ship. It's probably going to be unsuccessful, except for these Brels seem to be not giving chase. So he's actually going to be able to, with the knowledge that the scout ship took the beating from these Brels, he knows that he doesn't have the early expansion. He can pop this guy back up and go repair, at least keep him out. So we can see that that Dom is going for an early tech build, fairly light on bugs out on the field. So oddly enough, this constructor is still running around, not having repaired, not having gone back and gotten some cover, and that is actually going to cost this constructor its life. So this is going to be the end of this constructor. As you can see, that Dominus doesn't have a lot of offensive power on the board. He's sacrificing that early game offensive power for this late game ship. And he's going to lose his expansion because of it. Now we can see that Konsumat playing a fairly decent early game. He's got a fairly standard early game offensive fleet out here. He's definitely controlling the early game. What he really probably should do now is potentially try to harass some of these mining here. Maybe knock Dominus's mining down a little bit. You can see that Dominus is going these T-15s, which have a very long range. Well, they actually just have long range. And so the question is he going to be able to field enough of them to really do a lot of damage to the Klingon fleet that has actually been building? So Konsumat has these 5 Brels. It's probably not enough to kill this single T-15. However, it is going to be able to provide some extra defense around his mining in case these 5 Brels decide to take on the mining. However, you can see that Dom's also put in a couple of these A-20 attack destroyer bugs, and he's basically going to be able to defend against weak attacks like just these simple 5 Brels. However, you can see that now that Konsumat is bringing up some additional 3 Cavorts, the early mid-game ship of choice for Klingons, and that's going to increase the durability of these ships, well, his fleet and the firepower. So he's going to take this chance, this moment, knowing that Dominion fleet has gone off and is further away. He's going to take out some mining here. And this is a good, strong move for Konsumat. It's going to net him a couple of kills, and it's going to be fairly safe, not going to cost him anything in ships. He can take out 2 of them. He needs to just pop this guy and get out. Alright, good move, Konsumat. Well played. Now he just needs to stay out of the range of that starbase. That allows him to have a very successful attack there. If he can pop over here, he could actually make a little bit of a dent on this other side if he could take out this one construction unit that's trying to put up a phaser sentry. However, he looks like he is going to try to maintain his expansion. With the Klingons having scout ships, Konsumat can actually tail this ship and we'll know where that fleet is. And you can see here that this nebula here is actually going to disable the cloak, which is actually something of a nice trick for non-cloaking or even any ship